Apparently, there are some strong opinions out there about landlords and real estate investors. Scalpers, scumbag, parasitic, drain on society, parasite, leech. So let's take a little bit deeper of a look into what these people are maybe not quite fully comprehending. And this is why I call this a real estate 101 type issue, because when you look at this from a certain angle, you're going to see that it's not quite what these people think that it is. And these people have baked in a lot of assumptions into their argument that just aren't true. And when you have a false assumption, it's going to lead you to faulty conclusions every single time. And that's what I hope to open up here. I'm fully biased. I am a real estate investor. I love real estate investing. And I'm going to try to at least convey that I don't think I'm a scumbag. I don't think I'm a parasite. But ultimately, I'll let you be the judge of that. But like I said, I've given these people a chance to talk. I want to walk through a conversation. And all I ask is just hear me out in regards to kind of the other angle to things. And I want to develop a little bit of context here and show that some people look at all this as just, you know what? It's not fair. It's not okay. What you're doing is not right. And as this person says, you're part of the problem if you think it's okay to buy housing and hold it hostage. Stop being just another middle person. Now, before we go to the chalkboard, two claims here. Holding or houses being held hostage, and don't be a middle person. Don't be a middleman. Well, first off, I do actually fully agree with the people's argument. If people are going around buying houses and then doing nothing with them, they're literally holding them hostage and saying, nope, I'm doing nothing. I'm not renting them. I'm not fixing them up. I'm doing nothing. I'm just buying the house and holding it hostage. But that's not what people are doing. People are buying houses to provide housing. They're not holding them hostage. And then the second part is, well, just another middleman. Well, let's think about that. So here we have Bill, and Bill wants to go and try to make some money. For whatever reason, he wants to support his family. He wants to try to create a legacy for, his future, for his family's future. But you know what? He's trying to get some money, build some wealth. So he goes out there and he's going to buy. So Bill buys something, and let's just say, and this something could be anything, but he wants to buy it for, and he does buy it for $50. Okay, well, the end goal here is not to just buy something for $50. The end goal, as I already said, was, well, he wants to build wealth. So he's going to go out there and now he's going to try to offer a service or sell something. So a product, service, but regardless, he wants to now go out there and for simplicity's sake, he wants to sell it. Well, he wants to go out there and sell it for $40. Now, hopefully right away you're saying, wait a second, that makes no sense, Clay. He bought it for $50. He's going to sell it for $40. He's losing money. That is true. That is true, and that's a very realistic possibility in some senses. Why? Well, because if Bill bought the something, whatever the something is, and he thought, okay, buying it for $50 is a good idea, and then he can only sell it for $40, what would we say about Bill? Oh, he made a bad decision. He's now losing money. But by definition, what his goal is going to be is, well, he would want to sell it for, at least $51 because that would be giving him some profit in his pocket. But at the core, yes, Bill is being a middleman. Bill is being somebody that's in the middle. Just like this sort of transaction. We have a field. And on this field, we have these being grown. These being carrots. So we have some carrots being grown in this field. Who might go and buy those carrots? Well, maybe you might be saying, well, I could see a grocery store. So a GS goes and buys those carrots. So there's a transaction there. And then who does the grocery store sell to? Well, they sell to us. So my question is the grocery store, are they scumbags? Are they parasites? They're the middleman in this transaction. They've gone, bought carrots, and now they're selling carrots, presumably for more than what they bought them for. If not, if they have one of these situations, well, that grocery store not going to be in business very long. But you get the idea here. There is a middleman, and there are middlemans all over the place. It's a common form of economics. And the nice thing about this is, well, Clay, I could go and grow carrots in my garden. I could drive out to that farm myself and buy them. And you're right, but what's your time worth? You absolutely could do that, but what is your time worth? Could you go out there and buy a carrot? You could if you wanted to, but it's a convenience factor. The fact that you can just drive to the grocery store real quick, sure, you're gonna pay a little bit more because there is the middleman, but it's convenient. You don't have to drive out in the, into the country if you don't want, into the farm. You don't have to put in all the manual labor to grow it yourself. It's just a matter of convenience. And that's how economics work, is at the core, it's how can we make each other's lives convenient? Because we're always willing to pay for convenience. That's why you just go and buy a pair of shoes. I mean, that is the middleman. You could go out there, raise some, where does leather come from? I don't even know where leather comes from, some sort of skin. So you could raise that animal. You could get the skin from it. You could learn how to stitch and put it all together. You could do all that if you want to, but you're not going to do that. You'll gladly pay a middleman because they're offering you convenience. So that's the dynamics of the economy. And I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence, but that's what I mean. There's some missing, connections here in terms of why all of a sudden a house becomes a problem. And the idea is, well, they're like scalpers. Landlords are like scalpers. And Stephen, who I'm going to have a conversation with, sums this up perfectly. Landlords provide a home like how scalpers provide tickets. Now, instead of carrots, let's think about tickets, right? You want a ticket. You go and you could buy them from a scalper. Well, what's a scalper doing? They have gone and bought a ticket for a certain amount. And the amount that they bought it for, they think that somebody else can pay more for it. So yes, they are buying something and then they are charging more for it. Well, that's just the economy. That's how it's going and supposed to work. But to assume, well, they're just like scalpers. Yeah, in some senses, but do all scalpers make money? Is being a scalper mean you have no risk? Well, no, you definitely have risk. You could overpay for a ticket. You could buy a ticket for $50 and then only be able to sell it for $40. You just lost. And but scalpers are also providing a service, right? Maybe the person who's got a ticket is like, I don't want this. I don't need this anymore. I just want to get rid of it. Maybe somebody gave them the ticket and they just want to get rid of it. Well, the scalper is allowing that person to turn it into cash. So there's give and take. So one person getting helped out, the scalper is getting the ticket. They're going to go and try to sell it for more, but there's no guarantee that they will do that. So yes, that's true. If you want to use that analogy, that's fine. A landlord is a middleman. They have a house and they will offer it to you as housing, just like a scalper has a ticket and they're going to offer it for you or offer it to you at a higher price than what they bought it for. I have no problems here, but this is where the false equivalency comes into play. Like, landlords are just like scalpers. What's wrong with scalpers? I mean, if you weren't able to get a ticket, maybe some people want to go out there and pay for more of the face value. Maybe they're like, I just want that. Like, so yeah, it's worth it to me, even though it says it's only worth this. I think it's worth that. So joke's on them because they could have sold it way more at face value than what I'm willing to pay for because I'm able to afford it and I want to afford it because I think it's worth that amount. He then says, all the risk falls to the one who pays the rent. And this is where we have a very big misunderstanding. No, the person paying the rent is not assuming all the risk. Now, hear me out before you start typing away angry in the comment section. Sure, everybody has risks within this transaction, as is the case with any transaction. But here's where you don't have the risk. In fact, this is why some people want to rent. This is why people are like, no, I'm happy to rent. Let me reframe it. What if I could tell you there's a situation out there where if your toilet starts to overflow, your lawn's, somebody will take care of your toilet. Your lawn, somebody's going to take care of it. If something happens to your roof, it starts to leak, somebody else is going to take care of it. You don't have to have the skills. You don't have to put up with the hassle of it. Somebody else is going to take care of it for you. So you have a roof over your head. You have all that stuff. You have a place to live. And if anything goes wrong within that place to live, somebody else is going to pay for it. They are going to take care of it. Now, to some people, that sounds really nice. Yeah, that's called a rental. Now, the downside to this is you're not building any equity. It's not your house. But maybe some people don't care about building equity. Maybe some people don't care about that. Maybe some people are like, I just want a roof over my head, and if something breaks, I want to be able to call somebody up and be like, hey, this broke, take care of it, and pay for it. Maybe that's what some people want. But if you're saying, oh, landlords are all disgusting parasites, well then, some people would definitely disagree with you because from that person's frame of reference, they're offering them a service that they want because maybe they don't want to try to build equity. Maybe they don't want the responsibility of having to fix things and take care of the lawn and do this, that, and the other. Some people don't want to do that stuff, and that's fine. So this is where we go back to that word of convenience. For the person, it is that maybe doesn't want all those other things. It is convenient to just pay a landlord, let them take care of it, and they're more than happy with it. But what's the alternative here? That landlord, like the real estate investing shouldn't be allowed. There should be no landlords. Because I have a strong suspicion that the people that like to rent, that find that convenient, are going to be kind of upset about that opinion because they're like, wait a second. So you're saying that I can no longer get what I want because it's not fitting into what you want? Of course, the argument being, well, all these things are getting expensive. And okay, fine, they're getting expensive. Relative to who? Relative to you. I can't afford it. Okay, I'm not denying that you can't afford it. But other people can afford it. Because if other people couldn't afford it, then prices would come down. Well, it's all real estate investors buying their up. They're hoarding it all. No, they're not. Cite me a study down below that shows that the vast majority of purchases out there are from real estate investors. You're not going to find it. Now, yeah, real estate investors, banks, whatever you want to call it, they're out there buying stuff. I'm not refuting that. But the claim that it's all the real estate investors' fault that prices are going up is completely false because the vast majority of people are just people that will be living there. They're not real estate investors. So yes, there are some out there that are buying, but to blame everybody on, well, nobody can afford housing. That's literally not true because the vast majority are people that will live there. So therefore they can't afford it or else they wouldn't be buying it. And it would be all real estate investors. So if the common person could not buy real estate, then that would be reflected in the statistics of 100% of real estate purchases are by individuals that aren't going to live in the house. That statistic's not out there. Again, just because you can't afford it doesn't mean that other people can't. But the other part is, well, Clay, yeah, but landlords are just scumbags because, well, let me show you. I've had to make repairs and replace fans and lights. I've had to paint. Now, first off, I'm actually really sorry to hear that. That's really terrible. I can't say for sure because I don't know what this rental agreement says. But let's just concede that the landlord is a scumbag. They said that they would pay for stuff. They said that they would fix stuff and all that. Well, then here's the great thing about just the system we have is you have a contract. You have a rental agreement. All you got to do is take that to a lawyer and sue the landlord. I can't afford a lawyer. Contingency. Look up, do some research, find lawyers that will work on contingency, meaning they're not going to get paid unless they win. And if this person's case is black and white as, oh wow, yeah, that landlord is very clearly in violation of the rental agreement, then that's going to be a guaranteed win for the lawyer. So why would they not take it? And then when they win for you, they will take a portion of that. So that's the downside is if you can't pay up front, well, then you'll just pay after they win. Again, contingency type deal. That's what those sorts of deals within the world of law are called. So yeah, I'm not refuting that some landlords aren't scumbags in the sense of they're not living up to what their rental agreement is, but there's a system in place for that. Go sue them, get probably even more money than what, let the lawyer, I'm not a lawyer, but like I said, there's something in place. So I'm very sorry that this person apparently has a scumbag landlord, but there are remedies in place for that. And once again, just because there's some scum, there's bad apples in everything. So that doesn't include and mean that the whole thing is terrible. So at the end of the day, no houses are being held hostage. If that was the case, then I fully understand they're being rented out. They're being offered as housing. And housing or rental housing for some people is very convenient for the reasons already discussed. Housing can be inconvenient if you're just not able to afford things, but that doesn't mean that nobody can afford it because of those statistics, which, like I said, don't exist. If those claims were true, then you'd go and it'd be like 90% of homes are purchased by real estate investors. That just is not true. And at the end of the day, here's the solution. If you do want to buy so you can build equity and all that, go and find somebody that can afford the house. Find one of these people and ask them one question. What do you do for a living? Once they tell you what they do for a living, go acquire those skills, get those skills, and then you will also be able to afford because apparently whatever the skills they have, somebody is willing to pay them enough for those skills and that person's making enough money where they can go and then be able to afford the housing that you want. So sometimes you just got to work backwards. Find the people that can afford the houses, ask them what they do for a living, ask them what skills are required for that, then go and get those skills, and that's gonna be putting you on the right direction. So no, I would not say that landlords are parasites or scumbags. I would say that they're just like anybody else. They're buying a product, they're taking that product, offering a service. Some people will find that service convenient, others won't, but they're not forcing anybody, and it's just another transaction within a much broader economy. I can understand how some people might wanna blame things, but like I said, the stats just don't bear that out. The stats don't bear out people holding houses hostages. The stats don't bear out the vast majority of people buying are real estate investors. That's just not the reality. Again, I'm happy to be proven wrong if there's some sort of data out there that I'm not aware of, but so point that out. But as far as I've seen, that just doesn't exist. So I hope this helps. Let me know your comments below. We'll try to keep it civil. I'm not gonna guarantee that I reply to everybody because I have other things to do. I'm not looking to get in some sort of massive debate. Maybe I can reply to some, but if I don't reply to you, it's nothing personal. It's just a time management decision on my part. But yes, are real estate investors parasites? No, they are not. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.